Milan, northern Italy. One of Europe's classical cities. New world efficiency meets old world charm and sophistication. And this week the Milanese welcome the Telecom Italia Open, an event that began life in 1925 and features a trophy bearing many famous names. Last year's Ryder Cup captain Bernhard Langer included. In 1998, Sweden's Patrick Sjöland joined the likes of Sir Henry Cotton, Tony Jacklin and Greg Norman as an Italian Open champion, a feat subsequently achieved by Dean Robertson and down in Sardinia by the Frenchman Gregory Havre. Ian Poulter's captured the title twice in recent years, the first time on the way to being named Sir Henry Cotton Rookie of the Year. Smiling Swede Mattias Gronberg prevailed in 2003, and last year, in a rain-shortened 54-hole event, Graham McDowell outlasted Thomas Levy in a playoff to claim his second piece of European Tour silverware. This time it's the same prestigious trophy up for grabs and the same venue, the delightful Castello di Tolcinasco Golf Club just south of the city centre. This Arnold Palmer designed course opened in 1993. It's flat, lengthy, has many doglegs, thick punishing rough and hard true greens that read around 11 on the Stimpmeter. And it gets a universal seal of approval from those chasing glory in the Telecom Italia Open.
It's probably one of the greatest layouts we've played in Italy, and I've been here for like sort of last 15 years and played different venues for the Italian Open. It is a superb golf course, and the greens are in immaculate conditions as well. So it is a very tough test, and the rough was really thick last year. Haven't really seen it yet this year, but it is a very good test.
Also in town, the 1989 Open champion Mark Calcavecchia, a man with more than golf on his mind.
This is the first time we've ever been to Italy, and we were trying to find a good place to get married, and my fiancée, soon-to-be wife tomorrow, Brenda, and we decided we're coming to Italy. That sounds like a good place as any. So she did all the work, and we're going to get married tomorrow night.
Wedded bliss maybe, but Mark wasn't so happy on the course. Rounds of 78 and 70 saw the American surprisingly miss the cut by 5 strokes. And the first day wasn't blissful weather-wise either. A storm from the Alps descended, and play was suspended for the day because of the threat of lightning. It meant a baptism of fire for the tour's new on-site weatherman, Mike McClellan.
We're monitoring satellite images, radar images, we've got lightning strike information, we've also got a lightning prediction system right here on site. And I'm monitoring the weather situation basically minute by minute, just to let the officials and also the spectators and the players know exactly what's going on weather-wise.
Thankfully, there were no more climate-induced problems, and Kim Thomas, Emanuele Canonica, made hay in the sunshine.
Yes, Phil, tied 5th at halfway after a pair of 68s. The 34-year-old Torino power pack with a soft touch. Well, he couldn't buy a putt in round 3 of 71, and is just inside the top 10 going into the final day. And that's 2 shots behind Tour regular Gary Murphy. At 13 under, this birdie putt, one of the highlights of his third round 66 for the Kilkenny man. Now 11 under after 3 rounds.
David Drysdale was doing his best to continue the tradition of Scottish success in the event. After a third round 66, the man from Dunbar was 11 under and dreaming of joining compatriots Bernard Gallagher, Brian Barnes, Sam Torrance and Sandy Lyle as the Italian Open champion. On the same mark going into the last day was the vastly experienced Englishman Jamie Spence, who thrust his way into serious contention with a vintage Saturday score of 65.
And after some intensive work with his coach Claude Harmon, 2003 Madeira Island Open champion Bradley Dredge is enjoying a welcome return to form in Milan. 67, 66 and 71 from the Welshman, who's tied 3rd on 12 under.
Consistent excellence was the name of the game for Simon Khan, who put together 3 rounds in the 60s, helped by this unlikely eagle at the 15th on day 3.
New kid on the block, 27-year-old Richard Finch, the Tour School qualifier, breaks the course record at Tolcinasco in round 2 with 8 birdies and an eagle in a 63 to lead at halfway. A reality check 71 on day 3, but Finch is still flying high on 13 under par.
But the most valuable single shot of the week was produced by Frenchman Julien Van Houw, who received the keys to the BMW in the background for a Friday hole-in-one at the 16th.
It's been 10 winless years for the little man with huge talent. England's Steve Webster, 5 times a runner-up on tour, after 2 68s and a 66 on what the tour players called moving day, round 3. The 30-year-old Midlander has forced his way to the top of the board. Just 5 foot 8 inches tall, he powers the driver over 300 yards. So par 5s like the 12th are meat and drink. But does he have the stomach for the fight on the final round?
Well, Kim, with 18 pressurised holes left to play, Webster enjoys a slender one-shot advantage over Finch, with only 5 strokes covering the top 12 players. All set up then for a very interesting final round of the Telecom Italia Open, blessed by gorgeous spring sunshine.
Out in a topsy-turvy 35 shots, Canonica drives the par 4 10th for the 3rd successive day. Birdie there, and he's up to 11 under. Playing with leader Webster in the final pairing, Richard Finch. The pressure catches up with him. A double bogey 5 at the monster par 3 8th, and even with a birdie 4 after this approach at 9, he's out in 38, dropping to 11 under.
The best Sunday start came from Bradley Dredge, who birdied the par 5 first, reached 14 under with another birdie here at the 4th, but unfortunately bogeyed the 5th and the 10th. As for Jamie Spence, well, he cut it fine on that treacherous 8th. Heart in mouth stuff this. But he did make his first birdie of the round after 7 straight pars, then promptly picked up another shot at the 9th to force his way into the title reckoning.
Just what you need to start. A comfortable birdie 4 on the opening par 5 hole settles the nerves for Webster. But then he tightens a little, bogeying the 3rd and that 8th hole, so at 9 a birdie was a must if he was to regain the lead. Level par, front 9 36.
Spence and Canonica charging, but it's Webster who remains 1 in front going into the most important back 9 of his entire career.
The 10th hole, 342 yards. Just a flip wedge for Steve here for his second.
Get up a fraction. Bounce hard. Go! Bounce.
As always, giving the ball a good talking to, one of his trademarks.
Now Richard Finch, one of the fairy tale stories of this event so far. In that 63 Kim was talking about on Friday, he made 4 2s on the short holes. Now 4 2s in poker's pretty good. Around here it's spectacular. From that range though, not what he wanted on the 10th.
At the 11th, the 31-year-old Cardiff resident Bradley Dredge. At the start of the week we thought this was a tight driving hole, but these players have rocked it right over the bunker on the left-hand side, and now it's only a short wedge in. It was a little windier early in the day, but it's dropped now, and the course yielding a few more birdies. Superb approach from Dredge there, at 12 under at the moment.
Next month, Simon Khan makes the defence of his Celtic Manor Resort Wales Open title. A victory here would really boost his confidence going to South Wales. Good sound, no spin.
In the final group, Richard Finch at the 10th. Finished 13th in his first outing in Europe this year, and showing his bottle yet again. He's back up to 12 under par. He's not going away, Phil.
Absolutely not. You know, he was planning on attending a friend's wedding in Portugal this weekend, but making the cut put paid to that. I suppose you could say he's trying to become the best man here.
I suppose you could say that. Webster for his birdie. And a healthy 3-shot lead. Just what the doctor ordered. Coming down the stretch. He's very much in the zone this week. Less chatty than normal.
Sharp right to left putt this one. And quite quick. Well read, too much break into it, but that should be a tap in 4.
Well, the man in the bright orange trousers on this final day, Canonica, at 13. Coming off a birdie at 12, and the Achilles heel of Emanuele Canonica showing again, the short stick.
No putting deficiency though for Bradley Dredge on the 11th. Back to 13 under par. Webster now 2 in front with 8 to play, but they're queuing up to mount a late challenge at Castello di Tolcinasco. Join us back in Milan after the break to see whether one of the tour's Neely men can become the man at the Telecom Italia Open. Welcome back to the Telecom Italia Open, here at Castello di Tolcinasco in the shadow of the distant Alps. In front, Steve Webster by 2 shots from Anders Hansen, Jamie Spence and Bradley Dredge, a trio seeking birdies on the back 9.
The leader Webster has also whipped it over the bunker on the left-hand side, but he's found the second cut of rough, and it's lush stuff, I can tell you. Ooh, touch of luck, just getting over the bunker and almost on the putting surface. Sometimes you need the brakes as well.
Kim was mentioning that Canonica's putter was freezing cold yesterday. In fact, he used it 34 times. But now it's behaving itself. The biggest cheer of the day, maybe. 3 birdies in the last 5 holes, 5 in the last 7. Minus 13.
He's really charged up, isn't he? Favourite with the home crowds, of course. Man from Turin. This man's from Dusseldorf, Marcel Siem. Never far away from a leaderboard. Always full of enthusiasm. Up to 12 under. Also at that par 3 14th. 2 big hitters playing together there.
After that stroke of good fortune, Webster for a birdie on the 11th. Well, during the front 9, a lot of the putts were sailing by the hole. Maybe he's becoming more tentative as the nerves increase.
Great last day for Anders Hansen, 2002 Volvo PGA champion. Started the day in 9th place on 9 under par. And here he is, 13 under, with that great tee shot at the par 3 14th. He enters the fray.
This man began playing golf at the Springfield Park course in Hull at the age of 9. They'll be very proud of him there. Just creeping by the side of the hole. That's happened a lot to him today, but he hasn't let his head drop.
Here's the longest hole on the golf course, 566 yards. Bradley Dredge going with 3 wood, trying to fade it into this pin that's tucked back right. Oh, and he's held it up well. Perfect distance judgment. That's an eagle chance, which would take him to 15 under if he could knock it in.
Back at the 11th, Richard Finch duly tapped in for a par. There's a little more than a tap in for Webster. The man trying to become the 4th English winner on the tour after Paul Broadhurst in Portugal, Paul Casey at the TCL Classic in China, and Nick Doherty, his good friend, at the Caltex Masters in Singapore.
An indifferent front 9 for Simon Khan, 37, pars at 10 and 11. But here's his big eagle chance at the 12th. Wonderful running putting surfaces. These are absolutely full of grass, and as you were saying, Phil, running over 11 on the stimp meter.
Well, Hansen certainly enjoyed the greens this week. "28 putts on each of the first 2 days, 27 yesterday, and now another birdie there, 14 under. He's looking good."
Simon Khan made his birdie. What about Dredge for eagle? This to join Webster. Never up on the line though. The putt has been working well so far this week for Bradley.
Yes, he did tidy up for birdie and climbs onto level terms with Hansen, one behind Webster, who's desperately trying to fend off a variety of challenges.
Missing the green left-hand side here at the par 5 12th, so slightly errant from Steve, and this is a tricky chip. Yes, he had no room to play with. A wicked bounce. That one left for his birdie 4.
Kononica, even with his great length, couldn't reach the green in 2 on the 15th, found trouble off the tee. And because of that, the hole has to be regarded as an opportunity squandered. Also, an interruption to his momentum.
That 13th finish earlier in the season was at the Dunhill Championship at Leopard Creek. And Richard Finch here at the 12th has a putt to go to 13 under par. Big swinging mover. Oh yes, what a great result. And Richard Finch is still in the leading challengers. 13 under. Nerves have gone away, Phil.
Yes, and he was very unlucky with his double bogey on the 8th. The ball just catching the very far side of the hazard and bouncing back in. Oh. He would have loved to see that one fall into the hole. As it is, no birdie.
Very good 13th hole here at Tolcinasco, 433 yards. And a long range birdie attempt here from Bradley. From the right, skirting the edge of the green. Oh, only a pace problem there for him, slightly softer, and that would surely have dropped. But he makes his par and stays at 14 under.
Now, one of the keys to Webster's success so far this week, accurate driving. Got through that one beautifully. Oh yes, ideal, and even the right side to attack the pin.
The last par 5 on the golf course, and Anders Hansen creates another big chance. This for 16 under, and that would be the lead. Good judgment. Birdie made. He moves up to 15 under par.
Already birdie 2s for Kononica at the 8th and the 14th. The crowd did the commentary there.
Great stuff from the home favourite Kononica. 13. Another good drive from Steve Webster at a very important time. Hansen has gone to 15 under to put the pressure on Steve, but there's the response. Excellent judgment.
He's been doing a lot of work with the mind guru, Jamil Qureshi, who's also a professional magician. And I suppose if he were to win this trophy, it would be the equivalent of pulling one out of the hat.
on the right on this par 3 14th. But a fairly generous pin placement for this last day. Bradley Dredge won't be so happy with that one at this late stage.
Super duper. He made 5 straight birdies from the 9th yesterday. This part of the course again proving beneficial for his chances. 3 under over the last 5 holes.
Bradley Dredge now 2 shots behind Webster. This is a slick putt across the green here at 14. Line and pace, perfect. Dredge moves to 15 under par, keeping the pressure on.
Now up on the 16th, 206 yards. Anders Hansen hit a pretty good shot, but it skipped through the green, and his chip wasn't exactly the best. So this for a par, and really, the way things are going, to stay in the frame. Mental fortitude from the Dane. Hansen bravely keeps title hopes alive and remains in a tie for second, behind Steve Webster, grimly hanging on. Can he complete the Italian job? The compelling story continues after the break. Welcome back to Castello di Tolcinasco Golf Club, one of many outstanding courses around the world designed by the King, Arnold Palmer. But who's going to reign supreme at the Telecom Italia Open? Right now, Steve Webster leads by 1 from Anders Hansen and Bradley Dredge.
Well, in normal circumstances, this par 3, 167 yards, wouldn't present too many problems for Steve Webster.
Stay there.
But he's trying to win his first tournament.
Come on down. Come on down the bank. Come on. Come on.
And that's pretty good.
Yeah, nice shot. That's okay.
8-iron shot there from Steve.
Yeah, it's good swing, that. Good swing. That's safe.
Now at 13 under par, you've got to think Canonica needs birdies at the last 2 holes. And here, that's a tall order. Not bad though. That's a pretty inhospitable pin, Kim.
Yeah, it's a bit cheeky, isn't it? Near the water on the right hand side there. Last par 5 on the course. You must hit the fairway, Bradley. Oh, that is a long way left. Slightly shut club face at the top. It's been his Achilles heel this week, and for some time, I have to say. Bags of promise in the Welshman, never really fulfilled it properly.
The caddy, Steve, has been doing that all week, lining up the putts and then moving away just at the last moment.
Go.
It's a formula that's been working. In that instance, though, not quite enough pace.
Now, what's he got left in the tank? Any more crowd pleasers? Canonica for 14 under. You know, he misses so many putts on the right-hand side. Just doesn't pay attention through the strike sometimes.
We saw Dredge in trouble off the tee on 15, laid up to here. Well, an outside chance for a birdie on a hole he knows he could have reached into.
On the same score as Bradley Dredge, Anders Hansen, time running out for him, 1 shot behind the leader. Pretty good tee shot here at 17, finds the fairway, he can attack the flag from there with just a wedge in his hand, and he has done. Hansen, fantastic performance on this last day.
Now if you think 17's dangerous, the 18th even more so. A driver not recommended off the tee. But Kononica going with the big gun.
Feel this is water or flip wedge. The latter, I feel. 423 yards. It's just a few steps from the green. Amazing stuff.
Trying to become the first Italian winner of the Italian Open since Massimo Manelli way back in 1980.
The approach of Simon Kahn at the par 5 15th. Perhaps too far back now. Kahn on 12 under. But the closing holes have yielded some birdies on the last couple of days with the more benign weather conditions.
Crunch put hold for a par on the 16th by Hansen. But no birdie on 17. Just didn't quite read enough break into it. In fact, it broke quite sharply just before the hole. And that really is a disappointment.
Bradley Dredge paying the penalty for the errant drive here on this reachable par 5 15th. So this one for birdie. Not to be. So the tap-in par will keep the Welshman at 15 under par. A big chance missed there, Phil, late on.
Yes, Kim, Steve Webster says that he doesn't look at leaderboards, wants to remain in the present and think about his own game, not anyone else's. But those last couple of birdie misses by Hansen and now Dredge have significantly improved his chances.
I almost wrote off Simon Kahn a few minutes ago. You never know in this game though, particularly if you hold birdie putts like that. He's up to 13 under par. Not quite out of it yet.
That's right, Kim, you can't dismiss his chances, but it's Webster who remains very much the target man. He's looking to exploit the par 5 15th.
Bags of power in Emanuele Kononica. How is his feel with this little wedge? This is an awkward one. Big ridge running through the green. Has to start it down the right. Let the ball do the work. Oh, this could be very, very good. Almost fainting in the crowds, aren't they? Fantastic.
The decibel level's certainly rising. Steve Webster will be wondering what's going on.
He's found the fairway very well here at 15. He's going right. Is it coming back for him? Well, that's absolutely fine. He's on the putting surface. Crucial on this par 5 for 2.
Yes, we've mentioned 5 second-place finishes for him in the past. The most recent last year at the South African Open. You just wonder whether the breakthrough is going to occur in the next 30 minutes or so.
Five-iron shot from Bradley Dredge. Has he gone left again? He has. Oh, gets a break off the bank of the bunker. But that's an awkward one from just off the back of the putting surface at 16 for him at 15 under par.
Kononica has played the 18th perfectly. A round of 67. And when he looks back on this week, there's no doubt at all he'll be thinking about that Saturday 71 with those 34 putts as the problem. The reason he didn't capture the title.
Dredge and Hansen at 15. Webster here at 16. Under par, that is. 15th hole. Eagle putt. Ooh, slow down. That's a wide.
Far away, mate. We're harder.
At this point, you're supposed to say something positive. At least he's got the one back up the hill.
What a birdie putt missed on 17 for Hansen, but he's driven it very well here at the 18th. Created another chance. The pin perched just on the left side of the green, glaring down at the water hazard. Oh, that's unlucky, Phil, just to run through there. Very good iron shot from Anders. And that'll be a tricky putt. Left to right down the green there to try and complete with a birdie 3.
The modern way to play this shot. A relatively new innovation, maybe 15 years or so. The fairway wood to just tonk it onto the green. Not enough juice.
Here it is then, the birdie attempt. Last gasp effort from Anders Hansen. This is a great line. Keep turning. Oh! It did too much. He couldn't believe that. What a great effort from Anders in this last round.
And that 4 or 5 footer keeps Dredge right in the thick of things. Those par putts are so important. Even a bogey putt occasionally. Webster hold a really important one on the 8th. It's a par for Hansen on the 18th, but as the ball was tracking towards the hole, he thought in his heart of hearts it was going to be a birdie. Nevertheless, with a round of 66, the best of the day, he establishes the clubhouse mark at 15 under.
$17 under. It's all looking very good now for Steve Webster.
Yes, a modicum of daylight appears at the top. Webster moves 2 in front, and given the severity of the closing stretch, his latest birdie is timely.
Last par 3 for Webster, 206 yards. Water hazards guard the front of the green. 6 iron.
Either one.
Green one's away at the back, so we do not want to be long.
Get up. Come on, roll down.
Well, almost unlucky there. He could have run over that ridge and down towards the flag, but in the circumstances, Phil, that's really good.
10 top 10 finishes for Bradley Dredge in 2002. Not so consistent these days. Still to record his first top 10 of the 2005 season, although that's virtually guaranteed here. And he could not have wished for a better tee shot on 17.
Yes, down the narrow side. You'll have a good view from there. Now left to righter, down the green for Steve Webster. And looking very much like he was just happy to take 2 from there. He'll have that one for his par to stay at 17 under par. Tense stuff.
Yes, understandably tense given the context of his career to date. Another good roll from Finch, who doesn't take a practice stroke with a putter. And you have to say luck's deserted him on the greens today. So many times he shaved the hole.
Can Bradley Dredge force another couple of birdies out of this course? 5 under par for his round so far. And he won't be best pleased with that, getting it past the hole. It's a fast putt down the green from there.
Focus, 110%.
The caddy telling him to focus 110%. Every shot now, a potential test. And an examination passed.
The birdie attempt from Simon Kahn at 17. This for 14 under par. It's got a chance. Oh, picked that one out. Welcome back, Simon Kahn. 3 birdies in the last 6 holes.
Please now, thank you.
How Dredge would love to repeat the dose. It was going apace, but it caught the right edge and went in. Webster striving for his breakthrough tour win, but Dredge refusing to give up the fight. The Welshman's now only one adrift, and the galleries at the Telecom Italia Open are guaranteed a nail-biting finish. So are we, after these. The gleaming Telecom Italia Open trophy shortly to be presented, but to whom? Right now Steve Webster's favourite, but by no means a certainty. He's one in front of Bradley Dredge, and with 2 tricky holes to negotiate in order to claim victory for the first time in 10 seasons on the European Tour, nerves will be jangling.
And that's the record for Steve on this 17th, out with the fairway metal, a wise choice. No need for the big stick here. Well, the last time he led going into the last round in Europe was early 2004 at the ANZ Championship, the modified Stapleford competition. He led by 5 points going into that, and to all intents and purposes blew it. It doesn't look that way here in Italy.
Iron off the tee for safety on the 18th for Dredge.
Well, didn't get through that with his body, but his hands took over. It's going left. Oh, don't believe it. Iron for safety, and he's found the agua.
Shades of Simon Wakefield at last year's Heritage Tournament at Woburn, when he took an iron off the 18th and pulled it out of bounds.
He's found a fluffy lie here, Steve Webster. Will he take the flag on? It's tight right. Water lurks. Oh, class stuff. Top draw.
You know, Kim, they have a Shot of the Month award on the European Tour. That's certainly a candidate.
Great tee shot from Richard Finch. Much gold on offer for him, and probably the best way to securing his tour card here this week. Great performance from the 27-year-old from Hull.
It was a great performance until the 16th and 17th for Jamie Spence. He's rather deflated. Double bogey at 16, bogey at 17. A very good lag putt though. Spence will be inside the top 10, and that means an invitation to next week's Daily Telegraph Dunlop British Masters.
Starting the day at 12 under, Bradley Dredge at 16, and he pops it in the water. Wow. Meanwhile, back at 17, Finch for birdie 3. Coming thick and fast, aren't they, at this penultimate hole?
Well, he's due a putter too, really. And it was just that hesitant start that's cost him.
Kahn and Dredge birdied 17. Finch followed them. Can Webster make it a quartet? He certainly can. Extra bit of insurance coming down the last.
Spence made his par on the 18th for a 73 to share 7th spot, and a 4 on the closing hole from Webster will end his lengthy wait for a maiden European Tour success.
Surely Simon Kahn's not going to go for the flag here at 18. He's well right with his tee shot. Flag only 4 yards from the left-hand side of the green. And we all know what's over there. The wet stuff.
That hazard cost Thomas Levy in the playoff last year, Kim. And it's going to cost both of these players strokes 12 months later.
Don't try this at home. Bradley Dredge having a go. Surely he can't take this flag on. Oh, absolute beautiful approach there from Bradley Dredge. Is his third shot though. He's not giving up.
Webster back on the tee watching all of those shenanigans, and the caddy has the driver in hand, Kim.
Well, it's the one club that Steve Webster doesn't need to use on this shot. Anywhere on the fairway, safety paramount. He's gone with it. Like driving into a bottleneck.
Well, he's employed the driver on the 18th all week, and I suppose the philosophy was, why change a winning formula? Ooh, though, the ball sitting down in that rough. Can it close the club face? Can it go left? Not over yet.
Certainly not. Arnold Palmer knew what he was doing with the design of these closing holes. Not long, but very testing. Now, Simon Carr's got plenty of room on the right-hand side of the flag here. It feeds down from right to left as he looks at it. He's gone straight for it. They found the lower tier, which is technically inside the water hazard, but he'd probably be right up against those sleepers. Unbelievable.
Richard Finch, very quick player, coached by Pete Cowan. He's a former English amateur champion who finished 10th at the Q School to claim his card, and now he looks very much at home playing with the big boys. And he's been fortunate there, a good lie in the right-hand rough.
What a finish this would be if Bradley Dredge could squeeze that 4 out of this last hole. But this is slick. Left to right from the higher ledge, now sweeping down to lower level. As always on this 18th green, a pace issue.
This for a treble bogey for Simon Carr. And that's more appropriate for the Alps, a snowman.
That is expensive.
Yes, a snowman, the nickname on the tour for an 8.
Well, it's a bogey at the last. A valiant attempt from Bradley Dredge, but a round of 69 and he finishes on 15 under par. It's all down to one man now, Steve Webster.
Let's just hope this one goes in. Remember, Barry Lane finished with a 9 at the Portuguese Open last month. These tough 18ths can be heartbreaking. And the heart that's been broken, that of Simon Carr.
Slightly wayward drive for Richard Finch at 18. Lie not too bad. Not going to do a Carn, is he? Oh no, that's very good. Slow down a little. Difficult to judge out of that lush rough, ankle deep.
Now Steve Webster says he doesn't look at leaderboards. He might be well advised to take a peek here. Play safe, anywhere on the green will do.
This is not going left. He really muscled that out.
And now, Kim, it looks very much as though Steve Webster will be banking the largest cheque of his career.
No, that's what we said, just get it on the front of the green, it's fine.
216,000 plus euro for the winner. This is a man, remember, who's finished second on 5 occasions, lost in a playoff in Madrid to Retief Goosen in 2001. Now, though, you get the feeling he's got one hand and several fingers on the trophy.
Huge moment for Richard Finch. In a tie for second at the moment, worth about 97,500 euro. And now, a 10-footer left to stay that way. Tens of thousands of euro could disappear at a stroke.
He first came to the general public's attention by winning the silver medal at the 1995 Open at St Andrews, did Steve Webster. It's taken longer than expected to capture a title, but surely now it's only a matter of seconds away. The claw grip. Can he finish in spectacular fashion?
Has to ride the ridge first and then keep going and softly down to the hole. In the circumstances, a great putt.
Up there in the crowd, his great friend Gary Evans, another regular on the tour for over a decade who's still to win himself. But Gary will be delighted to see that putt go in and his good mate prevail here in Italy.
Well, this rookie has been a revelation this week. And now the last test for par. Oh, you could see how important that was. The 27-year-old, round in 70. He'll be around for a long time.
And now 10 years of missing out. How about 1 day of total elation?
His 247th tour event. It's been a long wait.
There's Gary, as pleased almost as the man himself. The final result, victory by 3 shots. That suggests it was comfortable. A relieved Steve Webster knows otherwise.
Amazing, really. I started off the week, pretty confident, but you never know till the weekend. And my mind was all over the place today. I did feel I was going to win, but it was so hard to keep concentrating, and I'm just happy I played really well today.
The largest payday of Webster's career sees him improve 34 places to 9th in the updated European Tour Order of Merit, still dominated by Els and Goosen. But unlike Mr. Webster, Ernie and Retief haven't won their weight in Grana Padano. Cheese, bubbly and the Telecom Italia Open Trophy. You can't beat it, and in Milan, no one could beat Steve Webster.